Hi crypto peeps, hope you're doing well. Today's date is 11th of October 2023 and Bitcoin is doing well right now, bearing in mind the war situation we're in. It's holding steady at around about 27,000 and change, so not doing too bad. So with this, let's get straight to the news this week, shall we? My first piece of paper-based news here is on Cointelegraph. Bitcoin price could hit $750,000 to $1 million by 2026, says Arthur Hayes. The BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes, expects Bitcoin to be around about $750,000 by 2026. He goes on to say here, I absolutely agree that there is going to be a major financial crisis, probably as bad or worse than the Great Depression, sometime near the end of the decade, and before we get there, we're going to have, I think, the largest bull market in stocks, real estate, crypto, art, you name it, that we've ever seen since World War II. Hayes cites the nearly predictable response of the United States government rushing in to intervene in every economic crisis with a bailout as a key catalyst behind the structural problems in the US economy. He explained that this essentially creates an endless cycle of central bank printing, which leads to inflation and prevents the economy from going through natural market cycles of growth and correction. According to Hayes, mounting government debt, a large amount that needs to be rolled over, and diminishing productivity can only be addressed with money printing. While monetary expansion does lead to bull markets, the consequences tend to be high inflation. Moving on down here, he goes on to say about Bitcoin, despite what appears to be generally dismal outlook on the global and US economy, Hayes still expects Bitcoin price to outperform, placing a target estimate of around about $750,000 to $1 million range by the end of 2026. He says this in a statement, chopping around 25 to 30,000 this year as we get some sort of financial disturbance, and people recognise that the real rates are negative. If the economy is growing at a nominal rate of 10%, but I'm only getting 5 or 6%, even though it's high, people on the margin are going to start buying other stuff, crypto being one of these things. The eventual approval of a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund in the US, Europe, and perhaps Hong Kong, plus the halving event, could push the price to an all-new time high at $70,000 in June or July of 2024. Regaining the all-time high by the end of 2024 is when the real fun starts and the real bull market starts, and Bitcoin enters the 750,000 to 1 million on the upside. So that's what he has to say. As with all the news here, the links are down below. Please check all this news in detail. Do all your research. Just don't take my point of view on this one. Moving to my next piece of news here on Bitcoin news. Joe Rogan singles out Bitcoin as the universal viable currency. In this week's episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman engaged in a thoughtful discussion about the intricacies of artificial intelligence. During their conversation, renowned American podcaster Rogan expressed his deep fascination with Bitcoin, singling it out as the most captivating player in the digital asset space. Joe Rogan, whose podcast series is reported to be one of the most heard audio shows, featured OpenAI's Sam Altman in episode 2044. And apart from AI, the two talked about several trending topics, including central bank digital currencies, the FTX controversy, and of course Bitcoin. Rogan stated that Bitcoin has the greatest potential to become a universal viable currency. He highlighted the limited supply and the decentralized mining process of Bitcoin, making it an intriguing contender for wider adoption. And he stated this, the real fascinating crypto is Bitcoin to me. That's the one that I think is the most likely possibility of becoming a universal viable currency. It's limited in the amount that there can be, and people mine it with their own computers. That to me is very fascinating, and I love the fact that it's been implemented. So a good thumbs up there for Bitcoin. Moving on to the next piece of paper-based news here on The Insider. Be ready for the S&P 500 to crash by 50%. house prices to slide and a recession to strike. And this comes from Jeremy Grantham. Jeremy Grantham floated the possibility of a 50% crash in the S&P 500, predicted that US house prices would drop, and rang the recession alarm during the latest episode of Bloomberg's Marin Talks Money podcast. The GMO co-founder and market bubble historian also slammed Bitcoin as a scam, and he advised against buying US stock or real estate and shared his outlook for fossil fuels and artificial intelligence. And what he does here, what they've done here in this article is they compress 16 of his best quotes down for you to see in a simple format. So check out the link below and read those. I won't read them all here. Some interesting ones there that I've highlighted, especially the one where he says Bitcoin is, of course, an elaborate scam. But have a look at those and make up your own viewpoints. So moving ahead here to the street in crypto, the halving breakout called by Binance CEO could push Bitcoin price to $300,000. Based on previous market cycles, the Bitcoin price is primed for a breakout and multiple all-time highs after next year's halving. CZ Zhao, the CEO of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, published a prediction that the Bitcoin price will hit multiple all-time highs in 2025. CZ comes out and makes a bold prediction about Bitcoin today. The street's crypto George Tung reported in the video above what he's saying is strap on, because Bitcoin always hits multiple all-time highs after a halving, and people have short-term memories. He goes on to say here, our last high was $69,000, but the prior one was $20,000. The prior one before that was $1,000. So this time around, our high is going to be much higher than $69,000. This time round, he predicted the new all-time high could reach into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he goes on to say here, this is what we're supposed to be doing before we break into whatever we might break out into. 200,000, 250,000, 300,000. The Bitcoin market looks almost identical, he said. Again, more information in the links below. Check that out. Make up your own minds on these ones. And my last piece of paper-based news this week is on the Cryptopolitan here. Major crypto exchanges comply with new UK regulations. So in response to new financial promotions, FinProm, introduced by the Financial Conduct Authority, or the FCA, of the United Kingdom, major global cryptocurrency exchanges, including Binance and OKX, have announced measures to ensure compliance with the stringent regulations aimed at promoting transparency and fair practices in the crypto industry. These came into law here on October 6th, a few days ago. So Binance, one of the world's leading cryptocurrency exchanges, unveiled a series of changes designed to adhere to the new UK regulations. As part of its efforts, Binance launched a new domain exclusively for its UK-based users, and it forged a partnership with a local peer-to-peer lending platform, Rebuilding Society. Effective October 8th, 2023, retail users accessing Binance from the UK will be redirected to the localized domain. And it's essential to underline that these changes will solely impact retail users in the UK, exempting certain institutional and professional investors who fall under the new FinProm rules. Again, this has happened in the UK, so it only affects myself and the people here in the UK. But check out the laws on this as well. If you're a content creator, it affects that as well. You have to put clear advice and warnings that it's not financial advice, it's just for fun, and information on all your media. So with all this, we're now going to move to the video-based news, and I have several for you this week. The first one here is on Money Talks, and it goes on for 11 minutes, and it's an interview with Cathie Woods, and she says everyone is wrong about the cycle, and she's got some predictions for 2024. Definitely listen to her. Cathie knows what she's talking about. The next piece of video-based news I have here is on Altcoin Daily. This goes on for 9 minutes, and it's why the 2024 Bitcoin bull run is unlike previous crypto runs. Great information from them. They put out great daily content. Check that one out as well. And my last piece of video-based news for you today is on Coin Bureau. This goes on for 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes. General crypto news here about the market crash, Ethereum, ETF, the oil, the gas, and lots more in there as well. So lots of general news, really good. They put out great content, so have a look at those as well. So that's it for the news this week. You know, these little news bites, as I said, all the links are down below. So please check out these in full, make up your own minds. If you like what we do, hit that button, you know, the like button, hit the subscribe button, ask any questions or comments down below, or check us out on our subscriber-based website. Be safe out there, especially, you know, in the world with such problems as we're having at the moment. Be safe, look after your money, do your research. Namaste, and we'll see you next week.